Guys, I get a lot of questions about what does it mean to be a man. And over the past three and a half years, I've had the opportunity to interview hundreds and hundreds of men and ask them that very question. And while these guys all have different answers, I think there's a few very specific skill sets, very specific qualities, characteristics, and traits that we need to continually develop if we are to become the men that we are capable of becoming. So, in order to clarify and bring some simplicity to the conversation about the skill sets that we should be developing as men, I've broken it down into 9 that I want to share with you today. Now, these are not in any particular order, but I do believe all of them are important. This is not an exhaustive list. Of course, there's more, but I think this will get us pointed in the right direction, and through my own personal experience, adhering to and striving to become better in each of these 9 areas has enhanced my relationships, it's enhanced my wealth, it's enhanced my business, my physical fitness, it's enhanced every level of my life. So again, I'll break down these 9, and hopefully you can see how powerful this will be in your life as well. Number 1, education. Guys, it is critical that we learn to develop the skill of educating ourselves. And I'm not talking about necessarily formal education, although that could fall into the category. I'm talking about accessing information that you have previously not had access to. I'm talking about listening to podcasts. I'm talking about reading books. I'm talking about having conversations with educated people and learning new information. The more information that we have that we didn't previously have, the more able and capable we are of producing different results in our lives. So number 1, every man has to get good at the skill of learning and developing and gaining education. Number 2, money. I'm a financial advisor by trade. I've been in the business for almost a decade, and I can tell you that one of the biggest challenges men have is their inability to handle money, their inability to understand how it works, their inability to invest and save and spend money wisely, and their ability to use the tool, that's all it is, and the resource we call money to enhance our lives and our families' lives, our businesses, our communities. You've got to understand how to invest. You've got to understand how to pay off debt. You've got to understand budgeting. The more that you understand this little green piece of paper that we call money, the better off you and the people you're working to serve are going to be. Number 3 is style. Now, this is where I lose a lot of people. And I'm not just talking about the clothes that you wear, although that also is important. I'm talking about the way that you present yourself. I'm talking about grooming. I'm talking about the way that you look. I'm talking about the way that you communicate and the way that you articulate your ideas and your vision. All of those things come into this idea and this subject of style. Now, a lot of guys, what they'll say is, oh, real men don't care about their style. Well, that's the furthest thing from the truth. The most masculine men you've ever considered or thought about all worried about their style because they understand that what they're wearing and the way that they're saying things is a portrayal of who they are and their ability to be influential in the people's lives who they're serving. So it is critical that we understand how to develop and enhance and level up the way that we look, the way that we communicate, and that will help build influence for ourselves in other people's lives, which ties nicely into point number 4, and that is leadership. Leadership is about creating influence in other people's lives, and influence is somebody who's voluntarily willing to follow you because they believe that you're going to help take them to a position that they could not have gone on their own. So number 4, again, is leadership. Your ability to have a vision, your ability to articulate a vision, your ability to show people a better way of doing things in a manner in which they will voluntarily follow you. Every single one of us at some point in our lives, if we have not already, will be placed in a position of leadership, whether that's your family, in the community, maybe it's ecclesiastical services, maybe there's a project or an endeavor at work that you're responsible for. Your ability to lead the team effectively is going to spell the difference between failure and success. Now, point number 5 is martial arts. Guys, we've got to be able to defend ourselves and those we care about. This could be Jiu-Jitsu, this could be wrestling, this could be boxing. It could also come into play when you're talking about situational awareness or using firearms as a mean to prevent potential emergencies or situations in which we find ourselves. You've got to find a way to be a protector, and the best way to do that is to learn a martial art. Not only will it help you with those potential scenarios, but it will also help you become more disciplined and all the other virtues that go into making us better men. So, number 5, martial arts. Now, this also ties in line with point number 6, which is physical fitness. There was a point in my life where I was actually 50 pounds more than I weigh today. And I can tell you from experience that I was not able to step into the roles that I wanted to step into as effectively because I didn't have my fitness in check. I was not as good of a father, not as good of a husband, not as good as a business owner. And as I started to get my fitness in check and I started to get strong and I started to develop conditioning and all of the things that come into physical fitness, my income went up, my relationships improved, my business expanded, every facet and metric of my life improved because I was able to get my fitness in check. Now, this is a lifelong journey. This doesn't go away. It never will. But the more that you can incorporate daily physical training into your life, the more capable of being a man that you are. Now, next point, number 7, communication. Communication is critical. Everything that we do, at least 99% of the things that we do, involve other people. And your ability to communicate a mission or an objective or just your point of view is critical. And it's a lost art. People do not know how to communicate effectively, primarily, I think, because of this tool that we have called social media. It's a beautiful tool. It helps us connect unlike we've been able to connect ever in any time in history, and yet we're losing this ability to sit face-to-face with another individual and communicate ideas, articulate ideas, gain knowledge and information and wisdom from these other people, and have the type of dialogue that's going to help everybody elevate. You've got to learn how to be a better communicator. Expand your vocabulary. Expand the ideas that you're inputting into your mind so that you can have better conversations, more relevant, deeper, more significant, and meaningful conversations with the people that are important to you. Number 8, mental fortitude. Guys, we have got to find a way to become more mentally and emotionally tough. I look around in society today and I see so many men who crumble at the slightest sign of adversity because they've never placed themselves in any situation and asked more of themselves than they're used to or accustomed to asking of themselves. Put yourselves in physically, mentally, emotionally demanding, not dangerous, but demanding scenarios and situations so that you can tap into this mental fortitude that all of us possess and yet most of us have buried. Get strong mentally. Get strong emotionally. Learn to overcome the hardships that come up, and there will be plenty of hardships to come up. If you can't get through those mentally, you are not capable of stepping into the role that you are meant to step into. Now, the last point, and again, and these aren't in any particular order, but the last point that I want to share with you today is your ability to network. This is so critical, that you understand how to make connections with other people, that you understand how to create win-win situations for you and another party, that you understand exactly what it is you're looking for so you know who to connect with, and you can make outside connections to each other. The better you are at networking, the more capable you are of building significant, meaningful relationships where you get what you want and the other party gets what they want. You've got to learn to become a good networker. This will enhance every area of your life. I know people hear that and they think that that's a swear word or they don't want to go to networking events. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about being a man of value. I'm talking about adding value to other people's lives so they want to be connected with you. And the more little connections that you can make here and there and everywhere, the more relevant you are in other people's lives. So I'll recap this and we'll call it a day. Number 1, education. Number 2, money and finances. Number 3, style. Number 4, leadership. Number 5, martial arts. Number 6, physical fitness. Number 7, communication. Number 8, mental fortitude. And number 9, I just talked about it, is your ability to network. So there it is. Again, not an exhaustive list, but 9 strategies, 9 tools, 9 skill sets that each and every one of us as men should develop in order to be better men, better protectors, better providers, better presiders, and at the end of the day, the men that we're capable of becoming.